All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the BSB Podcast. This is your week 4 edition of the 2021 season. I'm Sean Kaus,
I'm Tony James.
and we're your betting strategy brothers. Welcome back to week 4. Our fan base is going up and up and up, and I couldn't be happier. For those of you that are new, we are here to teach. We are here to help. We're here to help you take down Vegas. We're here to make it less intimidating when you go to the window, try to understand how to bet, what to bet, how to think, and have fun.
For sure. For sure. I mean, it's all about having fun, right? And like I always like to say, Kaus, is like you can take my picks or you can fade my picks. Either way, I don't care. As long as we all win and we're all having fun, that's the part that matters. And looks like we have another fun weekend in store this weekend.
I agree. And for those of you that knew and those of you that are faithful fans, remember, we do not guarantee everything, but after last week, I think I kind of can.
What?
I'm just joking.
Well, you'll
just
tell us
joking.
in a minute, right?
We'll talk about it later, but let's get into our favorite part of the show, the best part, the drinking part. Yes. What are you drinking this week, BS?
Well, this week I had a Dr. Hop Thumb from my favorite local brewery. It's a double IPA, about 8%. I almost said 8% blood alcohol content, which is probably what I feel like in a minute. It is very crisp. It is very good, like very, very good. So I'm feeling very, very good. How about you, man?
That's good. I'm glad to hear it. So it's not all about beer. It's about drinking. And I actually do better drinking when I drink booze. I actually prefer booze to beer, but I drink beer more if you can figure that out. I mean, It is Polish Heritage Month, so I'm a Polak, so it makes more sense. But I do love me some whiskey. Whiskey's my drink. Yes. And I do love me some Jim Beam. This is Jim Beam Black, extra aged. They have a black triple aged. I usually like that one, but they were out. So I got the old age, and it's good. And I mix it with ginger ale. I'm a big fan of ginger ale. Sam's Club has a Canada Dry mix where it's blackberry, cranberry, and regular. It's the holiday season mix, which I get angry when I walk in September and there's still holiday stuff. But I do love seeing that. And I got myself a couple cases of that because I love all the mixes of ginger ale. So
excellent.
It actually lasts a lot longer. I mean, I can go through a good amount on Sundays, and after the night game, I'm not full, I'm not bloated. And sometimes when you just drink a ton of beer on a Sunday, you're just like at the end of the game, and so that's why I enjoy me some whiskey during the Sunday.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try that sometime because you're exactly right. If you're just crushing beers and just fat assing it on the couch, you are, and you know what's happening, brother. You know that you're not eating celery sticks and carrot sticks while you're watching those games. You are just feed bagging it. And so, at about 7:30, 8 o'clock, that Sunday night game's winding down. You're kind of not in the best place. So I'm going to try that coming up soon for sure.
Yeah, and the only thing that's really working when I'm doing that is my fingers and my thumbs trying to get those bets in. That's what I'm trying to do.
This. You know it.
All right.
I was going to say, let's hear how you did last week because it's very impressive.
You know, last week, every once in a while, you have great weeks. Okay, it just happens. You get on a heater and you ride it. And last week, I got on the heater. On my straight, I almost won $200 last week, so I was just under $200 winning. On my straight bets, I had Buffalo -7. And they covered that by far. It was 40 to win 34. So I got 74 back there, but I really won 34. I had your Raiders winning. Scary close. We even talked about how we were afraid of that line. We didn't understand that line. Vegas ended up being right. Yep. And that's what we said it, but that's why I took them on the money line because it scared me and they did end up winning. I did hit my parlays of Buffalo, Cincy, and Arizona all on the money lines. That was 30 to win 87. So it was an $87 win right there. Got 117 back from the window. And then I had Denver, the Rams, and your Raiders in a parlay. and that was 20 to win 53. So I walked away 73 from the window there. My teaser, not so good. UB didn't cover. The Patriots, we both had picked wrong. Chicago, I was wrong on, but I did hit Iowa, Tennessee, Chargers, Cincy, and Green Bay all on that teaser. So, but just with the teaser, you got to hit them all. Lose one, lose three, you lose it. And then I did win my prop bet by a whopping 10 yards. Jacoby Brissett, I bet that he would have under 227.5 yards passing. I won $10 for my 12 on that. He did have 217, so it was close. And when it went into overtime, I started worrying a little bit that I wasn't going to hit it, but I did. So all said and done, I bet 142, got back 192. So after the 420 I started with, I'm now at 612 plus the 100 I get this week. So I'm doing pretty good. I'm happy with myself.
Man, that's really good, man. That's really good. And I liked your teaser because even though it was an 8-teamer and you didn't hit them all, but it was one of those like kind of like dream cards, right? And if you hit it all, then fantastic, everything's good. And if you don't hit it all, it's such a small bet that and you easily covered it with all your other stuff this week. So that was awesome.
I agree. And I look at those big team teasers and parlays and stuff. I kind of look at them at like 10-yard passes. Every one you put on is 10 yards. So the more yardage you get, the harder it is to complete that pass. And I was trying to complete an 80-yard pass. Didn't happen.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, I had the opposite of your week. I pushed on my straight bet of Kansas City Chargers over 54 because that ended exactly 54 because idiot kickers. And then I lost my Wisconsin-Utah State parlay, my Baltimore-Detroit, Tennessee-Indy over parlay, my Vegas-Tampa Bay all-pirate parlay. I lost my NCAA teaser because Florida Atlantic couldn't score and USC just sucks right now. I too lost my NFL teaser because of the Patriots, and I lost my Tom Brady prop bet. So not so well. But it's kind of a victory because I got my $44 back on the push, so that was nice. But you know what? You have, just like you said, sometimes you have really good weeks. Sometimes you just have a week that you're like, man, I'm so close on a lot of things and it just didn't work out for me. And the only thing that you can do, man, is just get back up on that horse and wait until the next week.
I agree. And even though you lost, I'm happy that those people who are watching that might be new to this and expecting I'm going to get into sports betting and I'm going to win it all. And you're seeing an example right here this week. Last week, what happened kind of week 1 and week 2, we evened out most of our bets. And then week 3, we come and I smoke it. I get on a heater. I get hot. You go the other way. And that's going to happen. And some people will stop right there. Oh, I'm done. And that's fine. I totally understand it, but have fun with it. And you should not be betting more than you can afford. Like you want to be careful and don't go like you lost last week. We budgeted $100 every week for ourselves. So that's already in the budget. That's already there. We can lose it. It's almost like plan on losing it. Even though we don't want to, you plan on losing it. So if you look at whatever you're going to bet and you can't do it, don't. I mean, just don't.
Yeah, that's a 100% great point, and I think that you said it right with play with what you can afford to lose and assume that you're going to lose it, like worst case scenario, right? Like here's my $100 and yeah, but then look at the other side, right? If you luck out and you hit a few of them, then you look like you doubling your money, right? So we've got to make sure that we're playing within our boundaries, right? And only play with what you can afford to lose. That's a very serious and very important point.
Agreed. You got to be able to roll with that. And if not, then there are plenty of places to help you out there with that.
For sure.
All right, so going into this week's picks, I have 712 to play with, which I am not because this week does not look good to me at all. And you got 458 to go with, so that's with what we're up from the previous weeks plus the 100 we got this week. So I'll go ahead and start. And
Let's
I'm going to
do it.
start with my straight pick. Remember, straight pick is just one bet. You're betting on one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking Detroit. The Lions, they're good. Goff is not a great quarterback, but he's not awful. Like, he's not the
Mm-hmm.
worst thing since sliced bread. Like, it's Detroit. They're traditionally bad. You look at what's happening with Stafford in LA, you say, well, it's got to be a Detroit thing. Stafford looks like an MVP and he's in the talk of it. Like, it's got to be something with Detroit. But as usual, they don't lose every game, and they're not
Mm-hmm.
going to lose every game. They're going to win this. Chicago's too sloppy. I think Detroit gets their first win against Chicago, and Chicago might be starting Nick Foles. I mean, Dalton's questionable. Fields is banged up. Foles is number 3, and Foles is a Super Bowl winner.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to say, like, oh god, but he's number 3 on that list for a reason. And I want to say that again. He's behind Andy Dalton and a rookie quarterback.
That's unreal. That
Yeah,
is
so
unreal.
that tells you something about him a little bit, even though he has the Super Bowl. So my $20 on Detroit is going to win me 25.
Yeah, that sounds like. Yeah, I just don't know what to think about Chicago right now. They're just such kind of a tire fire, man. And it's like, what are you doing? Are you like? I get frustrated watching Chicago because they should be so much better than they are. It's obvious they took steps backwards with Trubisky, but that defense is still pretty good. And
Well,
it, like, make a decision, man. Just play Dalton the whole year or play
it
Fields the whole year.
And that's exactly what I was going to say. It starts at the top, and the top is Matt Nagy. He is the odds-on favorite to be the first coach fired this year right now. And that's no joke. I looked up the odds. He is the odds-on favorite. He is
Yeah.
minus money to bet on him to be the first coach fired. Every other coach is plus money. So he's the odds-on favorite. It starts with him, and that's the reason that they lose.
Well, I think that's it. And you know what? Detroit hasn't looked that bad in their loss. I mean, last week was such a fluky loss. They played the Ravens very well. So um, it's almost like and they're not trying to win this year. They know that they have a plan, and it looks like their plan is just steady improvement. And I agree with you, man. I think after last week, I think it'll be a win.
Well, and they got smoked by the Packers, but that's Rodgers versus Detroit. That just happened. That's
Hmm.
expected. The other 2 games they were in and they played well, so I think this is one they have a chance to actually walk away with.
I think you're
What are you
right.
going with this week?
Well, I'm going back to the well again with my overs and total picks, and I'm taking the over in the Arizona Rams game, and I'm taking that over 55, um, 33 to win 31. And I know it's kind of a sucker bet in a way because the last time they played, it was 18-7. So, so it was and I believe that day I also picked the over. But we have 2 offenses that are playing at such a high level right now. You got the third best offense and the sixth best offense. So I think the points are going to be there for the taking. Um, I know that the defenses are kind of like uh, the Rams have the 21st defense and the Cardinals have the 12th defense, 12th best defense, even with all the names that are on these squads. But I think this is going to be this game's indoors. It's the game of the week, I believe, on Fox. I think this is going to be a wonderful game, and I think the scoreboard's just going to light up.
I, man, I can see this going both ways. Like, and I purposely kind of stayed away from the over under because, like you
Mhm,
said, it is almost a soccer bet. You look at that, go, how can it not go over? Like, you got 2
mhm,
explosive offenses right now. You got Matt Stafford looking amazing. Kyler
mhm.
Murray, both are in the MVP talk. Both are throwing up numbers. But I just look at I don't know. I can't argue with you the over when I look at everything. I just, like you said, sometimes you just get a feeling when you're betting.
Mhm,
And there's those feelings like last week where we had with Vegas. Like, we thought they were more than 3.5 point favorites over Miami last week, but
mhm,
that spread scared us. And that's why I bet Vegas on the money line. I hit you bet in Vegas -3.5 and lost.
Mhm.
That was more of a feeling where I was scared and I didn't want to take the points. I think they win. They said this is another one where I don't think they're wrong, but I mean, look at how LA stopped Tampa Bay last week from scoring. Tampa Bay still scored
Mhm.
20 some points, but I don't know.
Well,
It's a scary thought.
if it was 50, would you take it over?
I'd probably I mean that's to me that's a tease right there. That's a bring that
Right.
down to 49 and take that is where I'm going, and that's still a struggle. I might actually go the other way with that, tease it up and take the
Mhm.
under,
Yeah.
because 61 is a lot of point, and they could very well get. I mean, I could easily see it happening. It's just so much of that sucker bet that I have a feeling going, oh, that scares me. But I mean, I think you're right. Everything you're saying. I mean, when you look at the points Arizona and the Rams are throwing up this year, there's no reason that shouldn't happen.
So it's
And you,
unreal.
and you would say, well, look at the teams they play. Well, the Rams just put up 40 on freaking Tampa Bay. I mean, I think that's a winning bet. I really do. I'm just too chicken shit to take it myself, to be honest.
Well, you had a great week last week, so you have to roll with what you're feeling, right? And I've and and this is another point here. I really like betting overs because I think they're fun. I think it's easier to root for points than root for defensive stops. We've talked about UCLA and riding the UCLA train. Last week I went with Kansas City again because I thought that they'd come through, and it would have come through if it wasn't for a missed extra point. But if the dog hadn't stopped to take a crap, he would have caught the mouse, right? So, it is what it is. But yeah, you just get a feeling, this game I could totally see it being 35-34. And then I could also see it being 9-6.
Yep, I agree with you. I think both right now after 3 weeks are definitely playoff teams. It's
Yeah.
only three. It's only 3 weeks, but that's another part of, is there going to be this come down to Jesus moment for them? And
Mhm.
that's kind of what I worry about. They've been doing so good and throwing up so many. Ooh, excuse me, throwing up so many numbers that, is there going to be a time when they're going to come down and not throw up numbers? And it's going to have to happen, and it's just win. And when you have two forces coming together, you never know what's going to
Mhm.
happen.
True
So,
that. True that.
but I'm gonna go to the parlay side of things now, where I'm going to put multiple together to try to make my odds better. And
All
my
right.
first, my only parlay this week, because this week, we've said first, second, third weeks are always tough. Man, I feel like the fourth week this week has been the toughest. The second week was very tough, and
Mhm.
this week I feel is very tough. Um, so I'm going to put some favorites together and try to make my odds favorite. So first one I'm going to stay in your game, and I'm going to take the Rams.
Mhm.
I think the Rams win this. I do think it's close. I don't know. Like you said, it could be 9-6. It could be 34-39. Either way, I think it's close, but the Rams
Mhm.
edge out. I just think you've got too much experience in Matt Stafford. You got too much of a beast in Aaron Donald. That they showed it last week. You got Jalen Ramsey taking over a hurt D Hop. Like, not that Arizona doesn't have more weapons that I feel like they've ever had, but I mean, he's a big play. And if it comes down to a close game like we think it is, and you don't have D Hop in there, or if you do, he's pulling that hamstring like that's rough. So
True.
that's why I think the Rams win that. I'm taking Buffalo on the money line, and I'm putting them in the parlay because they're a 17-point favorite right now, or 16 and a half. I forget what it last was. It was right
Yeah.
around there.
16 and a half.
16
Yeah.
is half. Um, their money line is minus 1,400. So I'd literally have to put $1,400 down on Buffalo to win just $100.
Mhm.
Excuse me. They're going to win. Everybody knows they're going to win. I'm not taking those odds. I'm going to put them in a parlay to try to get odds on them. Green Bay, they Green Bay is going to smoke Pittsburgh. It's in Green Bay. Pittsburgh's terrible. Ben needs to hang it up. TJ Watt's out. Like, Pittsburgh has nothing going for them at
True.
all. In Green Bay and Buffalo are taking the same path, almost like they did last year. Buffalo had a hard loss. They came through. Green Bay, a little different. Green Bay, they pretty much ran it all the way through, but kind of dwindled a little bit at the end and then came back. So, but this year they almost look on the same trajectory. So once again, they're favorites. I'm taking them because they're minus 300 on the money line almost. So I'm going to put them probably and make my odds. And then Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is a 7-point favorite. They're minus 300 on the money line. That's too much. They're going to win. I actually think it's going to be closer than everybody says because there's nobody in this world that can game plan against Tom Brady like Bill Belichick can. There's nobody. And I think that helps keep it close. I think Todd Bowles and his defense are gonna they're gonna be ready for anything that New England throws at them. But you got Gronk going back there. Gronk left on bad terms. Tom Brady says they left on good terms or whatever, but Gronk obviously didn't because he retired and came back. Like those two are just gonna try to go off. But Belichick's going to be ready. I think it's going to be closer than everybody thinks, but I think they pull it out. So I'm going to take them on the money line, increase my odds. And I'm only, for those 4 games, all 4 have to win, I'm going to get 20 to 36 because they're all big favorites.
Yeah, once again, great strategy here. Mixing some favorites together. I think that's a very good move on your part. I see all of those teams winning, like you said. Just are you going to cover the spread? And I think that Tampa Bay one is the one that I mean, we're going to talk about it in a little bit, but that would be the one of the 4 that would scare me the most. But those are all solid picks. Didn't the Steelers just look freaking horror awful last week?
They're god awful. It makes me feel terrible that the Bills, that's their one losses to the god awful Pittsburgh Steelers. But you know what? It was week 1, and if that's what Buffalo needed to get their head right, then I was okay with that.
Yeah.
But like you said, these could go closer. That's why I took them all on the money line. I didn't want to mess with the spread. They all scared me. That's why I did. This was my only parlay this week, and the rest is all a teaser.
Right on, right on. Well, I did a couple of parlays too this week. I split it up again just because I like to do that. In the AM, I took Miami minus 1.5 against the Colts, and I took Cleveland minus 2 against Minnesota. I just in the Miami game, I mean that's a tough one because it's probably going to be the battle of 2 backups, but I just don't know what to think about the Colts right now. I don't. They played Tennessee tough last week, but seemed to kind of fade out at the end. I was really impressed with the Dolphins. Even though they lost that game, I was impressed with the way they came out early, scored the first 14, had the ball, and then I think that safety turned it all around for the Raiders. But Miami with Brissett going against a rookie quarterback or a young quarterback, inexperienced Colts team, I think this is Miami's game for the taking. And I take Cleveland over Minnesota. I really liked how Minnesota played last week against Seattle. I thought they played a great game. I just don't know if they can do it twice. And Cleveland, I think has something to prove right now. And so I'm going to take Cleveland. It's only 2 points I'm giving up as a road favorite here. So we'll see what happens. That $15 will turn into $37.
Well, in your point about Miami, like I don't know who's going to win that game. I mean, I don't understand how you would even think about playing Wentz. We are coming on a Thursday where normally we do this on a Friday and know more of the definite injury report. So we apologize for that, but we had to do it on a Friday or on a Thursday this week. So we don't know for sure that Wentz isn't playing, but he shouldn't. and that gives the edge to Miami. You're right. They did look good. But part of that to me is, did Vegas play down? knowing that they just came off 2 big wins, 2 hard wins, knowing that this week they got to play the Chargers. Like,
Mhm.
was Miami that kind of look past game? Look, we have these 2 hard games. Miami's looking terrible. They're 1 for, and then you're going, then we got the Chargers next. We should just be able to run over Miami, especially after we played out 2 weeks. They might have been
Mhm.
looking forward to the Chargers already. So
See,
that worries me a little bit more about Miami.
I would agree with you, but I really liked how Miami opened the game, and I really liked how they finished. I didn't like the 30 minutes in the middle, but the opening and the end, that was, I mean, if you're looking at it from a Miami standpoint,
Yeah,
the ends were like super good. It was like a donut game. Like the ends were really good, and the middle was nothing. So yeah, I can totally see, but I just, man, Indianapolis is like I like Frank Reich too, but he might be a little
oh,
bit in over his head on this season, man.
well, they're the walking wounded right now. I mean, they're everybody on their line, both lines is injured. I mean,
Mhm.
they're terrible, and like we've said multiple times, they didn't pick a quarterback right. Um,
Yeah, and the thing with Cleveland is I think their defense is just a little bit better than Minnesota's, and if you can get the one, I'm giving up 2 points. Cleveland gets that one stop. That's all they need.
correct. My only worry with this one, and this is another reason why I teased it, is Minnesota should be 3-0. I mean, they had a chance to come back and beat Cincy, and they didn't.
Mhm.
Um, they lost that Cardinals game on a freaking field goal where he.
Yep.
I mean, well, technically they lost it on 2 field goal, well, field goal and extra point. If he would
Mhm.
have missed that extra point, So I mean, yes, they lost, and a loss is lost no matter how it comes. But I think Minnesota is better than everybody's getting them credit for. And you're
Mhm.
right. Chicago's trying to prove something. Now, here's the thing once again, since we're coming to you on Thursday, if Cook is injured, this isn't a conversation at all.
That's
He
true.
might not play. He's questionable. If he doesn't play, then this is a no brainer. It's Cleveland. If he plays, that's where I hesitate because he's looked amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
he
So,
is. He's super underrated. I think he's really really good.
well, in Cleveland's defense is like fifth against the rush, but I still think I mean, when you look at what Arizona did, what Minnesota did to Arizona, everybody came
Mhm.
in and said they're not going to run all over them, and they did. So,
Yeah.
but I like it. All right, what's your other NFL parlay there?
Oh, you're probably gonna hate this. I took Tampa Bay -7 and the over in that game, 15 to win 38. And I understand the Bill Belichick and angle of it. I really do. But they like Mac Jones just doesn't move the needle for me right now. You know what? He might be really good in 2 years. Right now, I think Tom Brady is miles.
He's
Like,
got almost 800 yards passing. I understand Tom Brady's better. I'm not arguing that fact at all. But Jones has got almost 800-yard passing. Come on.
yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't think. I think I talked about this last week. I'm not going to bet against Tom Brady right now. I think he's just so good. I just feel like if I bet against him, I'm taking my money into my own hands there, if you will. If I'm just going to bet with him and go 12-4 and be a happy guy, um, the part that scares me is the Belichick factor. But I think Tampa Bay is just loaded, and and I see Brady coming into this game like he really just wants to beat the living crap out of New England. I wouldn't be surprised if he throws 3 touchdowns to Gronkowski on purpose. Like, like they're on the plane up there going, no, you're getting the ball in the end zone 3 times.
Yeah.
Like this has already been planned, right? Just to stick it a little bit deeper in there. The over scares me a little bit because I have all the faith in the world that Tampa can cover their end. I have no faith in the world that New England can. But if this thing goes 35-14, I can pull it out. So I just have a feeling that I have a feeling this is going to be a blowout. I think this game is going to be, 38-10. Like, I really do.
Well, I hope for your sake it's not, because then you don't hit your over at 38-10.
Oh,
But
that's right. 38-12. There we go.
there you go. But look, I think it's going to be close. But on your side of things, this looks like a good bet because New England's defense is rated really big. Well, they've
Mhm.
played the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Saints,
Mhm.
and that's been it. Like, nobody knows what the Saints are right now, not even the Saints. I mean, Winston's got what, like 8 touchdown passes for 300 yards or so. Like his total yards is this. He's got to have some record of the least amount of passing yards and the most amount of touchdowns through 3 weeks, because he's got 387 yards with 7
Mhm.
touchdowns. Like
Yeah,
that's got to be some kind of record.
he's such a I don't even want to talk about him right now
But
because I'll just get
but
pissed.
to the point of your bet is New England's defense, I believe, is overrated for that fact. They
Mhm.
played who they played. So that looks really good for your bet. I just think Belichick dials it up because as much as Tom Brady and Gronk want to rub it in his face, Belichick has to be so irate the fact that they left him and they won a Super Bowl without him, and the first
Mhm.
year being without, like, he's got to be beyond livid. He has not slept a wink thinking about that. And I don't care what he says. Every minute of every game, he thinks about beating them. I don't care. Now he has a chance. And I don't think he wins, but I think
Mhm.
that's what keeps it closer.
Yeah, they both have something to prove, right? I mean, look, Brady's already proved what he had to do last
I was
season,
just
right?
going to say, they don't need to prove it. They already did.
But against his old coach, I think he has something to prove. And so, yeah, I just think this is going to be just blowout city. More so for some of the reasons you mentioned too. The Patriots haven't played anybody. The Tampa Bay's coming off a tough loss to the Rams. They lose this week, they go to 2-2. And it's like that might not be so good.
Yeah.
So, especially in that division with Carolina at 3-0, like who saw that coming?
No,
So,
nobody, and they might be but I mean, you got Tampa Bay also they beat the Falcons, but they also beat the Cowboys, who I don't think the Cowboys who were who they are now back in week
mm,
1, but right now when you say, oh, they beat the Dallas Cowboys, kind of means something. All right, let's get into our teasers.
all right, let's
Now,
do it.
reminder, teasers they make the odds better in your favor.
Mhm.
um so you're adding 6 points, and you can add 7, you can add 8, there's halves in there you can add. I'm doing the standard 6 teaser. We usually do the standard 6 teaser on the show.
Mhm.
But making the spreads better for you makes your odds worse. Okay, so I try to usually my teasers have more teams in them,
Mhm.
um to try to make my odds better. Usually when I do a teaser, I take more chances because I'm making my odds better. So I do have a full NCAA. If you remember last week, I went college and pro together, and one
Mhm.
of my colleges lost. So I'm just going to do a whole college one. I'm going to take Arkansas over Georgia, but it's plus 24. Arkansas may or may not win that game. Like I could see that happening. But if you're going to give me 24 points, 3 touchdowns, a field goal, I'm going to jump all over that when I think Arkansas has a chance to at least be in that game. Michigan, I'm going to take them plus 7.5 over Wisconsin. Look, Wisconsin looked terrible. Notre Dame proved us wrong last week, and I'll be the first to admit we were wrong about the Golden Domers, but Michigan's legit. I think they're looking good. And if you're going to give me 7.5 points when I think the wrong team's favored there to begin with, I'm going to take
Mhm.
it. Notre Dame, they are playing a tough Cincy game. But I think Notre Dame proved last week that they're ready to play and they're going to come out and win. And even if they don't, I think it's a field goal game. My
Mhm.
next pick was just for you because my boy, your birthday's on Saturday. I love you. Happy birthday, brother. So I had to put your
Thank
team in
you.
there. I had to put your Wolfpack in there. 12 points is a lot. Nevada's not terrible. They've been in close games this year, and Boise State has 2, and I think given Nevada 12, man, I hope for your sake they win. But even if they don't, once again, I think it's going to be a close game.
Mhm.
Bama, I was surprised to see the spread is only 14. I understand Ole Miss only has they do have a runner up. They got a number 1 QB, but if I can tease that down and take Bama -8, I think Bama runs away with this game. He's 23-0 against assistant coaches.
That's
Like
so
20,
unbelievable.
23-0 against his former assistant coaches. It ain't gonna change. This is not gonna change. So I think they're gonna smoke him. So I mean, I'd take it at 14, but if I can put it in a teaser and make my odds better, I'm going to. And last week you told me that hey, Chip Kelly and the over is money every time, and you were right. Last week it was. You didn't hit that bet because it was with something you lost, but I'm putting it in here, and I'm even going to tease it down and make it 49.5. I hope ASU wins this, but either way, I'm rooting for points. And my 20 is going to win me 120 on those in the college day.
I want to make 3 quick points here. Number 1 with Arkansas. I mean, that's they're playing Georgia, so you got number 2 versus number 8. I find it difficult to believe that Georgia is 24 points better than Arkansas. Yes, they're playing at home, but that is a ton of points for the 8th ranked team in the country. That's just incredible.
Agreed.
I'm eating crow with Notre Dame like it's not even funny because they whooped Wisconsin, just freaking whooped them. I mean, the score was a little bit more blowout than the game was with those last 2 pick sixes, but I mean they whooped.
And that was with a 3rd-string quarterback.
Yeah, I was not expecting that at all. I was sitting there watching and going, yeah, I'm an idiot because I took Wisconsin.
I was right there with you.
With Nevada, I believe it's 9 of the last 12 meetings with Boise State have Nevada has covered. They've been decided by less than 7. So I think 12 is I don't think Boise State, I think I've said this before, I don't think Boise State is that good. They are a few plays away from being 4-0, but they're 2-2. Their offense is playing at decades low standards right now as far as rushing yards, total yards. Like it would like if the season ended today, their yards would be the lowest since 2008. Their offense is just not performing right now. And
I did not know that. I feel even better now.
And here's the best part: they can't stop the run. So
that I knew.
So yeah, I really like this teaser. I think I think at the end of the night on Saturday, you're going to be like, just like cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Let's hope so. All right, I got 2 NFL teasers because, like I said, I was too leery on everything. So I'm going to tease it up. I'm going to take KC -1.5. I'm going to take Carolina +10.5. Miami +4.5. San Fran +3.5, Denver +7, and your Raiders +9. All right, so that's my teaser. That's going to be 20 to win, 120. We have talked about KC a little bit, but not enough. Look, they are 1-2. Like who like the reigning AFC champion. Like how do you? But Vegas is like Philly is not good. They're not. They're just not. Jalen Hurts is not there. Their defense is not there. Man, that offensive line, like, and then here's another thing. And I think, did you? I can't remember now. Did you? Oh, you didn't take the over in this game. I thought I saw somewhere you were taking the over in this game. Look, they got scrutinized Philly last week for not running the ball. They never ran the ball. When you don't run the ball and you have a bad offensive line, your quarterback's going to get killed, and that's what happened to Philly. And I think they try to establish a run against a run-weak defense, and it's not going to work because Reed's going to be ready. Look, Andy Reid's going to get his 100th win as a Chief in Philly. How fitting is that? The team that fired him. He's going to get his 100th win as a Chief. So I think that happens. I think that has everybody amped up. And you know, if you're KC, you say, we lost the game. But when you go, oh, shit, we lost 2 games, we got to figure our shit out. They're going to. Carolina, like you said, who saw them going 3-0? I don't. And man, they got a great D. I mean, they really do. Everybody's talking about Darnold. I think it's their D. It really
Mhm.
is. Dallas looked amazing, but once again, they were playing Philly, and they have a short week. Um, you got Darnold and Dak almost look the same. The only difference is that Darnold has, or sorry, Dak has 2 interceptions compared to, but he's got 6 TDs compared to the 3
Mhm.
TDs and 1 interception of Darnold. But they're almost the same yardage wise. So I don't. I think Dallas, while they've looked good, they've had some easy competition. So they still may win this, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do, but I'm not taking my chances. I'm taking Carolina plus 10. Miami, once again, we talked about them already. I'm taking them plus 4.5. San Francisco.
Yeah,
So
they're so confounding right now. I don't understand.
correct. Well, here's the thing: Seattle's lost 6 of 8 games since Shanahan's been there. So, like, again, I think
Oh, okay.
Shanahan gets their number. And if here's a big thing though, if Kittle's hurt, that may ruin it. But I think Seattle's done. I think this is their off year. I don't think they're going to come back from that. I don't think they're going to be good. Denver over Baltimore. My prime reason, 2 reasons: A, they're in Denver.
Hmm.
B, even if Lamar Jackson plays, he has a hurt back.
Hmm.
So that's why I'm taking Denver there. Um, and then your Raiders. Look, Chargers looked good last week, but they beat KC, who lost 2 in a row. Like, I think Vegas is 3-0 for a reason. I think Carr has the most passing yards for a reason. The defense looks better. Like, I think that happens all day long.
Yeah, that game on Monday is going to be a fascinating game. I can't
I
wait to
can't
watch
wait.
that, man.
I can't either. And they're not even my teams. I can't wait to watch it.
I'm just really confused with Kansas City. I'm really confused with San Francisco. Um, like, I think there was a point last week where Kansas City turned the ball over, and at that point they had turned the ball over in 4 consecutive drives. Like, that's like, I was like, what? Did I just hear that right?
No,
And wasn't the stat before the season started that Mahomes hadn't lost a game in September, and now he's lost 2 in a row?
correct.
I mean, technically, this game, or not technically, this game's in October, but I mean, you're still looking at a guy who's the team is definitely going through adversity right now with respect to results and play on the field. So I hope they get well against Philadelphia, though. I could totally, I can see that -1.5 coming through for you.
They're going to. They have that. We've been dominant forever. We are the people to beat, and now all of a
Mhm.
sudden, people figured this out, and we got to figure it out, and they will. They will.
Mhm.
My other teaser, I'm taking Atlanta plus 7.5, Detroit plus 8.5, Tennessee -1, the Vikings plus 8, the Giants plus 13.5, Houston Buffalo over 41, the Rams plus 1.5, and Detroit Chicago under 47.5. I went against you there, but look, it just against how you like to bet. But Atlanta, I don't understand how they're so terrible. I don't like.
Mhm.
How can you have Matty Ice and be that terrible? Now I understand you lost Julio Jones and that, but you're not that terrible. Like I don't get it. I don't get the why their offense is there. But Washington's D is not there this year. So even if Atlanta loses this, they're not going to lose it by more than a field goal. So 7.5 wins me. We already talked about Detroit, Tennessee. Tennessee wins this game handedly, I think. The Jets are terrible. They're still, and it's not their fault. It's just like Jacksonville tonight. Like, they're a new team. They got a new coach. They got a new quarterback. Like, they're going to get better. Everybody expects these rookie quarterbacks to come in and be phenomenal. That's not the normal. That's not the normal. Yes, we've seen a lot of quarterbacks in the past few years do it, but that's not normal. You've got to get even Josh Allen came in and he looked good. He made steps in year 3. Kyler Murray
Mhm.
made steps to year 3. Like, they look good their freshman year, but once they got 3 years under the belt, they started to look good. Herbert's looking good after 2 years. Like, your first year, you're not going to be winning games. So
Mhm.
I think Tennessee wins this handily. We talked about Minnesota already. The Giants, who knows what the
Yeah,
Saints are? That's the big thing.
no
Who knows
clue.
what the Saints are? Quarterback quarterback to quarterback, I take Jones all day long. But if you're going to give me 13 and a half points in the Giants, I realized what the Saints defense is. I get it. But
Mhm.
almost 2 touchdowns with Jameis, I think Giants win that. Houston, Buffalo. Buffalo might score 41 points themselves. They've consistently gone up on how many points they have, and they're playing a terrible Houston defense with Davis Mills, who, he took some hits last week, but he's not good. The Rams, I already said, would win, so why not tease them and make them 1.5?
Mhm.
Detroit, Chicago under. We talked about this game already. That offense in Chicago is dog shit. Goff is not going to score a bunch of points. So if I can tease it up and take the under, I feel way better. I know you like to cheer for points, but I feel
I do.
way better with my chances of them not scoring points. Like even today in the game I was watching, I had over 24 points in the first half, and I was angry watching people not score. So I'm gonna be less angry watching people not score in the Detroit Chicago game. So my $30 is gonna be $390.
I think that's solid. I too am stumped by Atlanta with like how your offense can be just so bad with the talent you have. Well, I mean, you have talent quarterback, and more than that, man, how fast they have fallen. I don't think they've gotten over that Super Bowl. Not
Nope.
even close. Not
Nope.
even close.
Nope.
And it's just been, just a nosedive for them. So hopefully they can get it back together for Matty Ice's sake.
I hope so too, because I like Matty Ice, but I think they kind of looked at it as that was our one shot, and now we're just here to collect a paycheck.
Yeah, exactly. Ugh.
So what
Oh
are you
well.
teasing this week?
Well, check this out. I did a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday teaser this week. My Friday teaser is all college games. I got BYU -4 against Utah State. I'm just done with Utah State. They just keep screwing me. But BYU they're playing that game on the road. BYU is way better than Utah State. I'm going to tease that down. I got Iowa +3 at Maryland. The only thing concerning me there is the travel. Maryland has been playing surprisingly well, but I think Iowa is on a mission here. And I've got the Houston Tulsa game over 48. Houston has always had a great offense. I see them and Tulsa can surprise, man. They hung with Ohio State a couple weeks ago, so that $20 will win me 32 on Friday night.
Yeah, but was that Tulsa hanging with them just a letdown game for Ohio State? Like,
Could have been both, right?
yeah, it could have been both, or it could have been like I always have that. Everybody always looks at the winner or the loser. They did this or they did that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
look at both sides of the pendulum, and I don't think you're wrong. I think this hits. I mean, I'll take $32 for that any day, and I think that's a great
Mm-hmm.
teaser. But just don't
Yep.
count those out, and that's why I think teasing that down made it
Mm-hmm.
better for you.
I agree. I agree. And then you get to the point where you look at it and it's like, well, if it was 54, would you take it? Well, probably not. But 48, yeah, I like my chances there. Saturday, I took Nevada +12, Arkansas +24, just like you. I took Oregon -2, Baylor and Oklahoma State over 41.5, and Penn State -6.5. $20 to win 84. Yeah, I mean, we talked about Nevada and Arkansas. Oregon is, I believe they're on the road this week, if I remember correctly. Um,
Yeah, they're in
so,
Stanford.
yeah. Stanford just hasn't, they beat USC, which was really cool, but they haven't looked that great. Oregon didn't look fantastic against Fresno State, but looked great against Ohio State.
But okay, here's here's where I semi disagree with you, and I don't necessarily disagree that Oregon will lose. That's my worry in this teaser for you. I think everything else is a lock. I
Mm,
just worry about this Oregon game. Look, they're ranked. They're looking good. It looks good for the Pac-12 to have them doing good. And you're right, they beat Ohio State, but Ohio State isn't. But then when you look at they beat Arizona.
mhm.
Fresno State's not terrible, but then they beat Stony Brook. Like, Like really, I that doesn't move the needle like you say. It doesn't move the needle for me. Yeah, they lost. Stanford lost to UCLA by what, a touchdown and a field goal. Yeah,
Mhm.
11 points. They beat USC. They beat Vanderbilt. Like
Yeah,
eh,
so the Vanderbilt win and the Stony Brook win should probably cancel out.
that's
Um,
true.
the only thing that concerns me about Oregon is their defense is surprisingly bad.
Yes.
I think they're.
Yeah.
I think what I saw was. I didn't even know there were this many teams playing. They are 230th against the pass. So
That sounds fake.
that must include division FCS schools. They are 200,
Yeah,
but
that
they're
sounds
giving
fake.
they're giving up 442 yards per game. Um, that scares me a little bit. But on the other side, they're scoring nearly 39 points a game, while giving up 20. So what it sounds like to me is the teams that they played before aren't very good at finishing. And that when you talk about teams like Stony Brook and Arizona, yes, they're not good finishers. Now you got a team with Stanford that does have a decent win under their belt. It will be an interesting game. The good news about this teaser is that Oregon game's at 12:30, and if that washes out, I think the Nevada game's at 12:30, and the Arkansas game is also early. So I will still have time to go bet some other action if I want to.
I like where your head's at that. What are you doing for your teaser on Sunday?
Sunday, I've got Tennessee -1, New Orleans -1.5, Dallas -1.5, and I'm with you on the Lions train +8.5. $20 to win 47.
Well, and this is a bet too, where once again, I mean, I feel like every week we have one of these where we could both win. And with that New Orleans Giants game, I took the
Mhm.
Giants and I went 13.5. You took New Orleans -1.5. So New Orleans wins by a touchdown. We're both winners, and we can walk
Yes.
out of there happy. Same thing with the Dallas game.
Yep, for
Um,
sure.
so and I could easily see both happening. So
Are you waiting for the bottom to fall out on the Panthers?
I am.
Because I'm
I'm
waiting
sure
for it.
everybody is.
And
Mhm.
and no McCaffrey this week.
Correct, and that's exactly it. With if McCaffrey were there, I'd say there's no bottom because I think Darnold finally has a team and finally has a coach,
Mhm.
but I mean, I don't think I still think Allen and Lamar are the top two of the draft, but I think he got put in a shitty situation, and
Did
I
too,
think he's better than that. But you give him a defense with McCaffrey, and I think he's money all day long. But
for
without him,
sure.
that doesn't
Yeah.
look good.
Nope, not at all.
So prop bets. I got two prop bets this week for you. Um, Prop bets, remember, are bets that you're just betting on random things to happen that aren't the outcome of the game. I'm betting my boy Josh Allen again. He hasn't let me down yet. He's not going to let me down this time, especially against Houston. He's going to have over 2.5 touchdown passes. I actually was plus money on that. I was surprised to see my
Mhm.
$10 is going to win me 12 when he throws 4 of them. And look, my other prop bet, you're gonna laugh, but it's Seattle +1.5 in the first half.
Mhm.
Okay. Nobody in the NFL, as bad as Seattle is, nobody in the NFL has more points in the first half than the Seattle Seahawks. Nobody.
Yep.
So if you're gonna take that, I'm gonna take that. $20 is gonna win me 18. They're gonna lose the game, but they're gonna, excuse me, win me money during the first half, and I'm gonna take that all day long.
They're great at starting and terrible at finishing. We saw that against Tennessee. We saw that last week. They're just have they just jumped the shark? Are they just on the downward slope now? I think they are.
I think they are. I think they're done.
And it's hard because you still look at their personnel and you're like, man, look at these athletes they have on offense, and look at the
Well,
the
look what
defense.
happens when you change coordinators, you change who's calling plays. All that
Yeah,
happened there this past offseason, and it did not work
yeah,
at
and
all.
Russ wasn't happy, and
No.
yeah,
But you know what? I'll take my first half points and watch them lose the second half, and I'll be good.
yes, exactly.
What do you
I
think's happening this week on your
I have a dead on even money prop bet. I think the Jets will score under 17.5 points in their game against Tennessee. I think, look, and it's just, for me, it's Zach Wilson and growing pains, and you have a brand new quarterback, you have a brand new coach. Um, they're trying to put it together. I don't, I just, I he hasn't done great so far. And I think that's probably a little bit of an understatement. What was it? Was it 26-0 last week against Denver? Um, I just, if they
Yeah,
can't score,
Denver's pretty good though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm on the Denver train. I don't think they're gonna go anywhere in the playoffs, but I think they get there. But I agree with you. They're not gonna score. Here's more of the reason why I like that under bet. It has nothing to do with the Jets. It has everything to do with Henry. Henry
yeah,
runs the ball, eats up clock. It's going to take up time, and then they're going to end up throwing the ball, which is going to lead to interceptions. And yeah, I think it's more of Tennessee running the clock out than it is the Jets sucking on why you're going to hit that under. But I like
the
that bet a lot.
the Jets have scored 20 points this year. This year, they've scored 20. I think this is. I was surprised it was plus.
Okay.
I was surprised it was even money.
Well, I was too, but here, when you say that, like, that's part what worries me. Tonight's game, I bet a live bet on tonight's game
Mhm.
that Trevor Lawrence was going to throw over 1.5 interceptions. He's had like 2 a game. He's got 7 through first 3 weeks, and he doesn't throw a pick this week. Like, that's the stupid stuff that happens. So, but I do. Yeah, okay, they've only scored 20, but I think it's more because Tennessee's just going to have the ball too long for them
Mm.
to even score. You know what I mean?
It's
Yep,
gonna be one of
I
these.
agree. I agree. All right, everybody, that concludes our week 4 edition. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have fun. We have so much fun. We're so happy we get to do this. It is definitely our honor and privilege to do this. Please let us know. We throw out betting as much as we can. Look,
Mhm.
I know we're both, because we talk to, and we're both betting constantly on games. So every game does not get put, every bet we do does not get put on Twitter, doesn't get put on
Mhm.
Facebook, but some of them do. So check it out. Throw yours on there. Let us know what you're thinking. We'll give you our feedback. I know last week I was talking back and forth to a lot of people about our picks and their picks and what they thought. And I loved it. There was nothing better for me. Like, it was great to have that, and I love it, and I hope you guys keep doing that, because I love it. I could talk betting all day long on sports, and it's amazing. So, guys, please keep it up. Please share. Please like. Please do all that stuff.
Yeah,
Yep.
it should be a pretty fun week. I'm looking forward to getting started tomorrow night.
I agree. Can't wait. All right. Love you, brother.
Love you, brother. Talk to you later.
Have a good
Bye.
week, everybody. Take down
Bye.
Vegas.
Yes. Bye bye.
Bye.